This is the last part of my visit at the Atarraya facility in Indianapolis, where they grow fresh shrimp in high-tech shipping containers. We've already had a full tour of the farm with Thomas. We've also talked about the business aspect of this operation with Nathan. So now, here is an interview with the inventor of the shrimp box container himself.
I'm Sebastian.
I'm Michel Facen. Nice to meet you.
Great to meet you. So, how did it start?
Well, it's a long story actually because I've been involved with this company almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
Something like that. Maybe 8 years. I'm not sure exactly because there is not like a definitely point in time where I started working. It was kind of a gradual thing. I started helping them out with a couple of projects and then getting more and more involved in it. So yeah, these projects started our company started with the idea of trying to bring technology to traditional farms.
Yeah.
Because traditional farms are really harmful for the environment.
You mean traditional shrimp farms?
Yeah, traditional shrimp farms. So the idea at the beginning was our project was to create the technology and help actual farmers to convert their farms into a biofloc system, so they didn't have to exchange so much water daily. They didn't have to use antibiotics and other chemicals and substances. Our idea was to create all the tools and everything and offer this to farmers. So I started working in the company, trying to identify all the places where we could make the system better, more automatic, less time, less work, and less water discharge and all these factors. That was that's why we have all this expertise with biofloc, because we were already working with it for many years. The company already started 5 years prior to me joining, developing all these solutions. No, around the year 2019, I would say, because we were so I want to jump forward a little bit because it took us many years to create the systems and the equipment that we needed and the software and the protocols for managing this system. So at some point around 2018, 2019, we were exporting shrimp from Mexico to the United States. We were selling the shrimp at a really high price because being like a product that had no antibiotics and was fresh. So we were selling this to really high-end restaurants. So the shrimp will get harvested in our farm in Mexico, and we'll take it to the airport, and it will be flown to the United States, different spots. Obviously, that was not very environmentally friendly, and it created a lot of a lot of extra costs, and the idea for us is not to make shrimp like this kind of shrimp that is clean, let's say, and produced responsibly. What we want to achieve is to make it really affordable. Our model was how the production of protein is going to be on forward on this century, and what things needed to be changed. For example, right now in the United States, up to 95 something like that % of shrimp is flown from somewhere else. So we started kind of exploring the possibility of bringing the shrimp alive from Mexico to the United States. The big challenge to grow shrimp in the United States, of course, is the temperature. That's the main problem, because shrimp, obviously, they are tropical species. They like the water to be like at 29, 30 degrees Celsius. So that's why there is no shrimp farms like traditional farms in the United States, because a farm will be able to operate just for a few months. Yeah. So we started exploring the idea of bringing the shrimp alive from Mexico to the States in containers, because that is something that is already being done with some species. Like, for example, lobsters, for example, are transported alive from the east of Canada to Europe, for example, in containers like this. Of course, with the systems are completely different, but shrimp being like a cold-blooded organism doesn't have any way to regulate this temperature. So when their metabolism depends on the temperature. That's why, if you keep the water at like 30 degrees, they grow really fast and they grow healthy. And when shrimp is cooled down, they will start like slowing down. Like their metabolism slows down because of the temperature. So that's what they do, for example, with lobsters. They send them like in a cool kind of environment. They are still alive, but kind of asleep in a way. I don't know if that would be the right term, but so like the first contact with the container idea was exploring this idea, like keep growing the shrimp in the farms in Mexico in a responsible way, with no antibiotics, no metabisulfites, nothing, like everything like kind of healthy, let's say, and then bring the containers to the United States and sell them like as fresh produce, because they will be alive, But that created many challenges, regulatory on one side, kind of just how can you say, like practical.
Yeah,
also
I mean, you
things
have
like,
to go through the customs and stuff.
Yeah, that was one aspect, but the other aspect that was that, like, that plan would have meant that we will be shipping containers to the United States, but then we needed to ship them back to Mexico empty.
That's not economical.
Yeah. And there is no like any kind of product that we could transport in the boxes, because they are already this weird shape with the tanks and with all the equipment. So it didn't make sense. Like, we kind of just, like, we had that idea, and we explored it a little bit and made a couple of kind of rough estimations, and then we decided that it was not going to be commercially viable. So that's what kind of was like the seed in our minds, until like we started thinking about the possibility of doing this with the shrimp box, like it down to us in one meeting. It was like, but why are we producing here and shipping to there? We should come up with the way to just produce the shrimp where it's going to be used, where it's going to be consumed, like near, let's say. So, like, for example, in Mexico, our farm is near a town called Puerto Escondido. And like, people that buy the shrimp there, like, it's like here now, we have days that, that people can come and buy our shrimp, and the shrimp is harvested the same day. Yeah. So people is coming here like 2 hours before, like, the harvest is done, the packaging and everything. So consumers are walking out of this place with shrimp that has been alive a few hours ago. So that was like kind of the seed of the idea. The thing is, like, we were still trying to kind of push our technology, like to try to kind of modernize farms in Mexico. But farmers, they are very traditionalist, and so it was very hard for us to break into their kind of mindset. Our technology was maybe not fully developed yet, I'm talking 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And so everything like kind of went into this point, and it was right before the pandemic started. And the fact that I've been already working before the Shrimpbox project started, I have been working already on some equipment, like on the farms, like sensors and feeders and clarifiers and, like different kind of equipment we needed. We were already working on all the protocols needed for this system. We started working on the kind of cloud software that we use to monitor and to take decisions about the system that we were going to implement in farms. When the pandemic started, we had to kind of like suspend a little bit our daily operation. Like the farm was still working, but there were some restrictions about who could go to the farm because of COVID and things like that. And that's when we kind of had the green light to start this project, because we got some funding, to kind of explore it. So they gave me the green light, and I started designing. It was March of 2020, when the lockdown started and all of that. And so I had a lot of time, to be at home and do research and do drawings and so that was the beginning of it. Luckily we were able to present this idea to some investors, and they were happy to back us up. And so that took 2 or 3 months of design. Then we bought a used container. We shipped it to Puerto Escondido in Mexico, and we just went to work with it, and did all the modifications and the structural kind of reinforcements that were needed for the top tank and stuff like that. And so the first prototype was made in just with a used container, very, how you say, DIY?
DIY.
Exactly. Because it was a prototype, so it took 2 or 3 months, 2.5 months I think, to build the first one, and another month to try all the equipment. As we already had the know-how from the farm, it was just a matter of kind of redesigning stuff to fit into this box and smaller tanks and stuff like that. In about June of 2020, we had the first prototype ready. We took it to the farm. We filled it up with shrimp, and we saw that it was viable.
Nice.
We started doing live tests, let's say, with the container in the farm, so we have access to larvae and the employees to check all the parameters that are already checking all the other tanks in the farm, so it was easy. And so already having a box there with shrimp alive inside, and with good indicators of how much the production could be and all of that, that kind of gave us a lot of a good standing to kind of push this project to more investors and get more funding. So we were able then to get these boxes built by a company, so built on spec, kind of custom built for us. These containers are custom built. And so we started like ordering containers from China. And that's another place where we were not that happy about that, because like we are not shipping shrimp from Indonesia to here to consume them, but we are shipping a container to produce the shrimp.
Yeah.
So those were like some decisions that we had to take because of logistics and costs, and also the company that helped us out with the containers was a company that already designed containers for the mining industry and other like custom built containers, and they already were working with this company in China. So yeah, like we had some of the boxes made in China, but now we are producing them in Mexico. So after a while, we decided to, like when we saw that this project was growing, like we decided to start building them in Mexico. Ideally, we would like them to be built as close as possible to where they are going to be used.
Yeah.
Same as a shrimp.
Yeah.
Because at the end, like, I mean, it's not rocket science to build a container. So it can be built like in many places. Like we had to learn how to do it because actually we are building them ourselves now. Like the factory that builds them is our factory in Mexico.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that like a couple of years ago we started like this new project for us of, with all the challenges of how to build containers, like and then how to scale this operation.
Yeah, the scaling is hard.
The scaling is very hard and it is always very challenging. But right now we are in a position where we have all the plans and the blueprints and everything. So we could give these plans to any company that is capable of building something like this, and they will produce a container just like this. And so that's already like a huge step forward for us.
Definitely.
Because ideally, like the containers will be built in certain spots around the world, close to where they are going to be shipped. And also, the project kind of merged. At the beginning, we were thinking like kind of units. Like a container is a unit. You can have like for example, a restaurant that sells a lot of seafood could have its own container and offer like fresh seafood, fresh shrimp to its customers. Like this could be in a parking lot.
Yeah.
But then. Just exploring the scalability of it and how we needed to make this project happen. Like we started like kind of creating these farms like you have seen in here. It kind of made sense to start like putting many containers in one location and producing like a lot more shrimp. So like more thinking about like hubs where we can have the production and then cover like a certain area. For example, like we think this farm could cover like the middle of the United States, like anywhere that you can get in a truck in like 12 hours, let's say. Like the shrimp is still like pretty fresh.
Yeah.
So the idea is to have these farms in different spots near where the consumers are. We have very interesting like propositions now. For example, I'm sure Nathan already commented about that. Like the main energy for producing shrimp during the winter is the heating. Like we have, for example, now propositions from data centers that generate a lot of excess heat in their operation. Yeah, like.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, because they really have to. They have a lot of heat because they have to cool all their equipment, and so we have been like exploring that possibility, and it's very, very promising right now.
Why do you have two tanks in one box and not just one big one?
Because like shrimp, is not swimming all the time.
Yeah.
They do like to swim, but they also need to rest. So if you do a tank that is that deep,
Yeah.
there is not a lot of surface for them to just stay.
Oh, so you just double the surface for
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, because ideally, like you will see all operations that they grow shrimp. The water depth is more or less 1 meter. It can be a bit more, but you don't gain a lot of how you say, like room for shrimp by going deep.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why we had to divide the tank, like the container, into 2 tanks. Yeah, that's the main reason. Yeah, basically, like everything that was on the farm that we already have developed, that we have been working with, like all the equipment that you see there, the skimmers, the clarifiers, the pumps, and everything, we have been already doing in open ponds. So it was not, like that crazy for us to kind of.
So you just took an open pond operation and moved it into a container.
Yeah, well, it's something like that. It's not as easy as that because it presented some challenges.
Well, yeah, of
like,
course. Yeah.
But the system we were working with already, was this biofloc system.
Yeah.
Biofloc has a lot of advantages, some disadvantages.
I mean, all things do.
All things do, and we believe this is the way. Like we are convinced this is the way, because the problem with, for example, the RAS system is that you have to do the water exchange, and that is a cost that you are not going to be able to get rid of. It's not so much a cost of water, it's a cost of salt in the water. Even if salt is not expensive, but in these amounts, I don't know if you saw in there, but we
there
have
is like 100, how many pounds?
That?
Yeah, it was like 100.
I don't know.
It was a lot. It was a lot of salt.
I think it's maybe might be like a ton. But yeah, like you go through a lot of salt because you need to salt the water. If you get rid of that water,
then you need to make new water.
Yeah, the new water needs salt, and so you are always using salt.
Yeah, well, yeah, that sucks.
That's for us one of the main advantages. While the other advantage is that we use a lot less feed, because
by using the biofloc system.
Yeah, because actually shrimp eats biofloc. Like not just that. Like we need to supplement, but we use less feed than traditional system.
Would you say the shrimp eat mainly the feed or mainly the biofloc?
Mainly the feed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If do you have some sort of percentage?
We did some tests in a university in Mexico. Yeah. Like this specialist on biofloc came from Israel. He's one of all the guys that have been working on biofloc, and he helps us out, do some tests. Like we'll collect the biofloc, dry it out, make pellets, and feed it to the shrimp. And they ate it. So that was the problem is we at that time we didn't have a lot of funding, so we couldn't the idea was to set up our own factory, what you can do is replace a percentage of the feed. Like when you produce the feed, normally it's made with fish flour and other things. So we could use 30%, or I'm not sure about the percentage because that's not my field really. But yeah, you can substitute a percentage of the main ingredients for the feed with the dried biofloc, and then you will be kind of recirculating this.
Wait, but when the biofloc is in the tank, do the shrimp eat the biofloc? Yeah.
Because biofloc is a multitude of organisms. Biofloc is many different organisms. So some of them get eaten by the shrimp.
But is it just bacteria, or is it also algae and stuff?
No, there is not algae, but there is also multicellular organisms. If you look on a microscope, you will see all kinds of things there. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a biologist. so I won't be able to tell you the names and be right. Like I know some names, but I don't want to say them because like probably I'd be wrong or something. But yeah, like if you look on a microscope, you see like not just flora but fauna. You know, like you see like moving stuff. You know, like small kind of worm-like, you know, like organisms, and then different kinds of bacteria. The thing is, biofloc, what, you know, like I make an analogy. For example, in your intestines, you have like your
there is a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and it's all beneficial for us. It's a good flora that helps us with digestion, creates some kind of vitamins that we cannot produce. It trains the immune system. Like, I don't know if you know, but like in the gut we have like the training center for our immune system.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah, and so in your guts you have like all the places colonized by these good bacteria. Mm-hmm. Like when you eat something that has like some kind of harmful organism, normally you won't get sick because there is no place for this organism to kind of attach and thrive because everything is already taken. Yeah. That's more or less the concept of biofloc here. Like we have to, it's a very finicky system. It's much more difficult than RAS, much more complicated. There is more parameters that we have to control and take interventions constantly. That's why we created all these protocols, and then we created all the software, you know, like to help the producers, you know, control this. So yeah, what happens is like we take care of that the biofloc is the right kind of organism for us. Mm-hmm. And then there is no kind of place for the bad organisms to thrive. When everything is going good in the tank, there is no, you know, like problems. Mm-hmm. Like that's why we don't use antibiotics. We actually can't use them
because it will kill the biofloc.
Yeah, it will kill our, you know, like good bacteria.
Yeah. But where do you get the biofloc from? Does it just spawn there, or?
Yeah, the biofloc is just like natural organisms. Yeah. Yeah. Like.
So you just start a tank and then it.
Yeah, it happens. It's like you know, it's like if you are making bread, you can go and buy the yeast, but also you can grab, for example, pineapple, and then with that create your own yeast. Yeah. Or you can even start with just flour, mm-hmm. you know, and then after a few weeks that is going to become yeasty, you know, like. So that's why, for example, bread has different tastes, or cheese has different tastes depending on where it has been made. So for sure our biofloc is somehow different than the one we have in Mexico. Like what you can do is inoculate another tank with existing biofloc, and then it's going to reproduce there. Yeah. So, but for example, here in Indiana, we couldn't bring biofloc from Mexico. So here we started kind of from scratch. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you just like, it takes like 5 or 6 months for a biofloc to get really mature. Mm-hmm. Like mature meaning for us is a word that means the right organisms are there. Mm-hmm. It takes a while. Yeah. And yeah, we are trying to emulate what happens in nature, you know, like in nature, like there is no water exchange in nature. Like, I mean, there is in a way, but what I'm going into is that nature is kind of a circular thing. Like the waste of one organism is the food for the next one. Mm-hmm. And so everything kind of goes around in a circle. That's what we try to do here. Like before I was talking about the disadvantages also of biofloc, and one of the main ones, obviously, is that we cannot see the shrimp. And that's a big challenge, you know. We had to like kind of create the equipment and the tools for being able to estimate, you know, in a good way. Mm-hmm. Like for example, we collect at the bottom of each tank there is like a place where we collect, like it gets collected there, like whatever is left in the tank. For example, if we had some kind of mortality, like there is some pumps and they go through a filter, and then you can check there and you will see if you have, like, for example, dead shrimp, they will end up in this collection box. If you fed the shrimp and the feed was too much quantity, you will see feed in this box that they check every day, you know, like, so if you see feed, you know that you are feeding too much for this. It's always a challenge, but, you know, like, we have gotten pretty good at estimating, you know, like, the amount of shrimp. That's the main thing, like, the fact that you cannot see them makes kind of hard to know exactly how much there is in the tank. We are now, like, at the point where our estimations normally are not more than 10% off. Normally less than that, you know. But yeah, it's a matter of kind of feeling it out. Yeah, like, there is a lot of, you know, that has been a challenge to, in that sense, has been a big challenge to kind of try to automate that part, but so far we haven't come up with a solution for that. It's kind of hard because, you know, like, cameras don't work, like electro signals get all mangled by the you know, the electric equipment. Yeah, it's like a big problem. But the advantages for us, like, are a lot, you know, more than the problem.
Thank you.
Oh, it's a pleasure.